Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nobody Asked My Opinion podcast. I'm your host Siobhan, where as usual, nobody asked my opinion, but I damn sure am going to give it anyway. Before I get started, guys, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you when you do. All right, what am I talking about today? Let me move hopefully not drop my phone, just because the sun is right in my eyes where I'm sitting and blah, it's like blah. All right, I'm talking about over the weekend or the past week, Coachella's been going on. You know what's funny? I'm not a hater on Coachella. I think it's a great thought. I feel like it's a giant riff and steal off of Woodstock, but I digress, whatever. I was not alive during Woodstock, but it's I don't know. It feels like it's just a giant rip off of a lot of other events that happened, and they're just kind of remaking it. There's been a lot of complaints about Coachella this time because apparently the food being very overpriced, parking, finding porta pot, none of that to me looks like a good time. I'd be excited to see some of the acts, but I think I'm too old now and set in my ways. But none of that, being out in the damn heat, looks like any type of fun to me. I don't know. That's just me. It wouldn't have been fun to me in my 20s either. You wouldn't have caught me out there back then either. But that's not what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of celebrities that attend Coachella. A lot of news popping out of there. A lot of great acts that have come out. One of the big ones people are talking about again is Justin Bieber. I was watching some of the video of him there. He was also apparently smoking a doobie next to they said, what was it, Hailey Bieber's, her little brother or his little brother. I didn't really pay attention to who, but just looking at him, I did an episode about this before. Looking at him now, he looks worse. And the fact that I feel like nobody's intervening, there is, I'm not a medical professional in the fact that, you're just looking at him and saying you can say he's either on some type of medication or just he looks mentally unwell. He's lost a lot of weight. He's very gaunt. His eyes don't really look focused. He's just making unusual face. He just does not look well. He's not like the Justin Bieber. I'm not talking about the little kid Justin Bieber, but just the healthier Justin Bieber that we saw after a couple of years ago. Why am I talking about this? Because, I talked about it before and I feel like, where's the intervention on this guy? Why are you still letting him be out in the public eye? He is obviously going through something, and I truly believe it's a trauma thing, and I really think it has to do with those Diddy rumors. I really do. I think that something is going to come to light with the trial coming up that he has probably stopped. He's tried to stop to get it revealed, but I think it's going to come up, and I think it's just he can't deal with it, and rightly so. But the horrible part about this is I'm watching him kind of be wheeled out and being put in the public eye, and all this chatter and what his rep said, how dare you say he's on drugs, he's the healthiest he's ever been. Man, whatever. Look, I get the celebrity, the stardom is a different world than what us normal human beings live in. But if something, God forbid, happens to him, there's a lot of people that should be held responsible, and a lot of this is preventable. Watching this, he needs rest. He does not look like somebody who is doing well and okay, and it's just like a PSA to the people who are around him. I get it. There's a lot of people who are saying he's being enabled. If you say anything, you get cut off. We've watched this happen too many times before. He has a lot of fans now. A lot of fans after the Coachella appearance are getting on TikTok and getting on Instagram and talking about this and expressing their concerns. And I think, his fans love him to the point of some of them love him to obsession, but his fans do still seem to care. And I think at this point, if you watch some of these videos, I think it's warranted. And it's just just speaking as a mom even, or just a person who just would never let, if this was someone who you had in your life who you knew was struggling to this degree, just put them out there in public like that so that they can be ripped apart and taken apart. And it may look like that's what I'm doing. I'm not. I really think that this kid needs help. And I think he's just surrounded by people who could just give a damn, you know. There have been a lot of talks about him having money problems and this and everything else. none of that matters. You know, I think this kid's been in the public eye since he's 10 years old, 11 years old. I think he deserves not only the privacy of being allowed to get well, but I think he deserves the right to get well without people. It's looking like people telling him everything's cool, Justin, you know, just get back out there. But, you know, I'll try and find a link to the Coachella video so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But let me know what you think. Because honestly, at this point, it's just like, you know, this kid has already overcome a couple of bad hurdles earlier on in his career. And it's just like, you know, you're just hoping he can turn the page on this, you know. But I don't know. I'm not trying to be negative about it, but this is just sad that nobody cares enough, truly cares enough, to stop the gravy train for a minute to step in and help someone who so obviously looks like they need help. But that's just my 2 cents. But let me know what you guys think. Did you see the video? What do you think about Coachella? Would you go to Coachella, like, if you had the opportunity to go? Is that like a fun, like, you know, a week in the hot sun, peeing in a porta potty? Again, maybe that's just me. I think I'm just too, I'm set in my ways. It's just, none of that is a good time to me, no matter how old or how young I am. None of that sounded like fun to me. But, you know, I hear you. For those who went, if you're still enjoying, please enjoy. But let me know what you guys think. Get down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, nobody asked my opinion, but I damn sure I'm going to give it anyway. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.